Hello and welcome back to Let's Talk Chatter That Matters. My name is Maria, and we have Sadaf Patel here, who is An-Nisa's Prevention Education Director. And today we'll be continuing our prevention series, Episode 2 Knowing Yourself.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well and you had an amazing week. We are so excited for you guys to learn about yourself. So, what does that mean? Okay, so knowing yourself is basically a lifelong exploration. It's not something that, okay, you're waking up and you're like, oh, I learned how to know myself. Now I know myself, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. It's a lifelong exploration. It involves understanding your strengths, your weaknesses, your core values, what motivates you, and how to regulate your emotions, right?
Right.
So it's a journey of self discovery, both internal and external. And in the end, you will know what makes you tick. Sometimes it takes deep searching, sometimes it takes you confronting hidden spaces that you didn't even know existed. For example, we don't know what it's like, what kind of wife, what kind of spouse we're going to be
Right.
before we get married. We don't know what kind of parent we're going to be until we have children, right?
Right.
So all of these different milestones in our lives, we don't know how we're going to react to them or how we're going to adjust to them until they happen, right? So with each new experience, you learn something new about yourself. What you're able to handle, what you're not able to handle, how true your patience is, right? Because a lot of times, especially as women, we get suppressed.
Yes.
Our voices get suppressed, right?
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, it doesn't matter, just be quiet. Don't talk too much. Don't say too much. Or you're being groomed to be a wife, like as you grow up. Oh, you can do this after marriage. Like I know you're not maybe in your generation, but in my generation, there were so many things that I wasn't allowed to do that, oh, you can do it once you get married. You can do this once you get married. So I thought marriage would bring about freedom. Little did I know that it's complete opposite, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like you said, what do you bring to the table? That's why it's important to know yourself. So what are values that are important to you? Does it sound like do you think you can say it off the top of your head? Oh, this is important. No, you have to actually think to yourself. You have to actually understand, okay, what do I look for when I look in like friendships?
Yes.
What bothers me? Does it, is loyalty important to me? Is faith important to me? What are some values that are important to you, Maria?
Values important to me. Well, one, definitely trust and
Yes.
loyalty and honesty. I think, I just want to rewind just a little bit. You hit the nail on this part where you said we were brought up and kind of groomed to think a certain way, to follow certain lifestyles, like certain values. And when you asked the question in our first episode, I was just thinking about it. Like, there's a lot of times where I don't speak up for myself when I should, because I don't want to look bad in front of
Yes.
anybody else. And I think a lot of women can relate to this. Even men can relate to this.
Yes.
But what about
You have
you?
that fear
Yeah.
of what will people say.
Yeah.
And so that suppresses what you actually think.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like this confusion, this cocktail of like Mel Robbins, I listened to her, and she said this, she had this guest that said something that was so important. I felt like it was so profound because she said that we're all performing.
Oh.
Like we have this performing self, right? So when we go out into the world, like we're performing as a friend, we're performing as a daughter, we're performing as a spouse, right? And so it's very activating. But when you are yourself, your authentic self,
Yeah.
it's a flow. You enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're in a flow. But when you feel like you're activated, like you're trying to be somebody, trying to do something, that makes you feeling exhausted. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
When you're like, this is how I should be. This is how I should present myself. And you're constantly trying to be this person, this performance. Imagine how exhausting that can be.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of like when you pick up the phone,
Yeah.
you have to put on a happier voice
Yes.
versus your regular voice sound. And people, when you do share your real authentic voice, they're like, "Oh, are you tired?
Yeah.
Are you sleepy?" It's like, "No, I'm just myself."
And that's why it's so important for us to not only understand who we are, but also accept who we are.
Yeah.
Because then you can move forward and actually like live your authentic life, right? So you have to you have to accept that you're not good at some things. You can't be good at everything, right?
How can we it's so hard to accept when we're not good at stuff, but like in general, how can we accept our full authentic self when we look in the mirror, when we're by ourselves? That's the person we're living with,
Yeah.
like that's the person. How do we
So
do
we have
that?
to stop being stuck in our heads. A lot of times we have conversations in our heads, right? So we assume, like for example, if somebody comes in and they're in a bad mood, we will sometimes automatically assume that, oh, they're upset with me. I did something wrong. So you have to first understand the voice in your head. Who do you listen to the most? Who do you listen to the most?
Yourself.
Yourself,
Yes,
right? Your inner
yeah.
voice. So what is your inner voice telling you? If your inner voice is telling you you're lazy, you're stupid,
Ooh.
because that's what they heard while you were growing up. A lot of times parents, without realizing it unintentionally, I mean, I am a parent of adult children now, and I know you don't really want to put somebody down, but you're lazy, you're good for nothing, you never do this right. We end up saying those things that become the inner voice of our child, that become our inner voice.
Wow, that's profound.
So, try to understand and listen to what you say to yourself before anything else. I mean, I want you to write it down in a journal. You'll see most of the thoughts. How many thoughts do you think a person has a day?
Oh my, I don't know, maybe like a few thousand?
60,000 thoughts a
Oh
day.
my.
And 80% of them are negative.
Wow, did you guys hear that? 80% of that.
Yes. Can you believe it? So imagine you're actually having to take that negative thought
Yeah.
and convert it to positive.
Yeah.
By thinking, okay, first you become aware. What is my thought, right? If you write it down, and then you're like, what proof do I have? Okay, this says I'm lazy. What proof do I have that I'm lazy?
Yeah.
Okay, but okay, I sleep all the time. Okay, I can change that habit,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
So why not think positively about yourself? You know how you've heard of affirmations, right?
Yes, yes.
So it's so important to actually tell yourself, no, I am worthy.
Yes.
If you have a thought of I'm good for nothing, no, I am worthy. I can do this. Because nothing's impossible, right? Even the word impossible spells I am possible.
Possible, yes, yeah.
So it's so important for us to understand that. So first, understand your values, what is important to you, and try to live your life according to that. Then second, understand your inner voice. Listen to your inner voice.
I think, that also relates to your inner voice is also your environment mentally, but then also your physical environment. Don't let that make you feel like you can't move forward in a positive direction,
Yeah.
right?
And don't minimize yourself. Don't put your needs last. Don't we tend to put everybody else's needs first and we minimize our own needs. And what that does is it takes away from our ability to understand who we are
Yeah.
because we've suppressed it for so long. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's just ways where we don't even get to accept ourselves. We don't
Yeah.
even get to listen to our own voice that we're sad. Oh, don't be sad. You have to go do this, or you have to make somebody else happy. So you don't even speak up.
Yeah.
Or you don't even get to just be, vocal about how you're feeling at all.
And so it's so important to understand your thoughts because a lot of times, okay, we just talked about negative thoughts, right?
Yeah.
But then also, a lot of times we're stuck in the past. We're thinking about what happened. Oh, I wish this was the case. In Islam, you're not even supposed to say, I wish.
Ah,
Do you understand? Because
Yeah.
you're assuming that it's up to you, whatever happens.
SubhanAllah, yes.
And we know that it's
yeah.
always up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why it's so important not to be stuck in the past and not to worry about the future.
Yeah.
So when you're stuck in the past, you get depressed because you think of what you could have done better, but you don't know what would have happened.
Absolutely.
Right? And then when you're thinking about the future too much, you become anxious. So we have so many people out there with depression and anxiety because they don't know how to live in the present.
Yes.
That's where it's so important to be mindful.
Yeah.
Understand mindfulness. Understand exactly where you are now. Be present in the situation.
It's a dangerous game to be stuck in your head for too long. So
Yes.
these are very great points to move forward.
Yes. So if you catch yourself, in the past, or if you catch yourself in, thinking about the future, actually talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Tell yourself, wait, that's already happened. I can't change that. What I can change is my present. Or if you're thinking too much in the future, just be like, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is what I can do now. And you are in control of yourself, right? You can't control anybody else. If somebody comes up and makes me really upset, can I control what they say to me?
No.
But I can control how I react to them.
Yes.
Right? And that is going to make the biggest difference. When we take control of our reactions, we actually listen to what somebody says. And so the reactions start taking place in your body first. If you get angry, you'll start feeling your shoulders tense.
Mm-hmm.
You'll start feeling like you're scrunched up or whatever it happens, right? So when you see that happening in your body and you feel that anger coming from somebody, relax yourself, ground yourself. And there's different grounding techniques. I like breathing, like inhale 4, stop, hold for 6, and exhale 8.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people can just ground themselves. Put your feet on the ground, put your hands on the table, touch something.
Yeah.
Bring yourself to the present. So that your emotions can be regulated.
Yeah, I've heard these methods before, and I personally am the type that I just need to put my hands on a surface, stay still for a moment, and just like get over the thought.
Yes.
And the embarrassment maybe sometimes. Sometimes it's the embarrassing thought that you keep repeating for some reason, don't know why, but I think a lot of people can relate to that, and we need to just, like you said, take control of it.
Yes.
And say this is not it anymore.
Exactly. And you need to merge who you are internally and what you think other people think of you, and make that into one, so that it's one standing person. Have you seen like a lot of kids these days, they're different at home, they're different at school.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
They have 2 different personalities, and that can be very harmful, and it can be exhausting. So trying to combine, like, who do you want to be? Because don't think that if you're not happy with who you are, that you can't make it you can make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can what are your goals? What are your aspirations? What are your visions? Do you know what are your fears? Do you know your fears? What is your biggest fear?
That's a good question. I don't want to share it on here, but there are many, many. I think number one, like I said, like value-wise, I like honesty, loyalty. So it would be the opposite. It would be my fear is someone breaking my trust.
Okay,
Things
exactly.
like that.
So understanding what your fears are, and trying to becoming aware of it and conquering it.
Yeah.
Like if, for example, someone might have a fear of public speaking.
Yeah.
Knowing yourself is understanding that fear. Okay, I hate public speaking, but I need to learn it. So what can I do to overcome that fear? What do I need to do to be able to be better at that? And understanding that and doing that, so that you can actually conquer your fears. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I think, like she's saying, think about your fears. Think about what you've been avoiding. Think about what you've been suppressing and just not fighting against at all. And why you haven't been trying to accomplish it. Why?
So I know we're running out of time, so I just want to say a couple more things that are really, really important is understanding your emotions. And we're going to have Dr. Hamdan talk about this later.
Yes.
In another episode. But just a little bit about when we become very emotional, the things we say and the way we react is a lot of times we regret it. Because it's not what we mean. It's just, when you become emotional, you don't realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's very important when you feel yourself becoming emotional to name that emotion, to calm yourself down, and to understand, like, okay, what will my reaction be, right? So there's like emotional wheels, like to be able to name your emotion. Am I angry? Am I surprised? Am I upset? It's good to look at them, to be able to when you label your emotion, you're actually taking it outside of yourself. You're turning it into something that you can handle. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you label it, okay, I am angry. I feel anger. Okay, what do I do with this anger?
Yeah.
Then it's not a part of you anymore. It's a part of something that's happening to you that you can change.
Yeah.
And it's hard at first, but then slowly you can, make that happen. And the other thing that is really important is to understand our ego.
Ooh.
Our egos mess up our relationships. What happened with Shaitan? Right? It was an ego. He did not want to bow down to Adam alayhi salam, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him to.
Yes.
So when we bring our egos in the middle of any relationship, it will be the downfall of that relationship. Even our own relationship.
Absolutely.
Our relationship with ourselves, when sometimes we bring our ego into it. Oh, I'm too good to do that. I'm not going to do that for that person. No, you have to understand when it's ego. Yes, there's boundaries, things that you will and will not do. Set your boundaries, but understand when it's ego. Because our ego can really ruin who we are, and it can create conflicts in our lives.
That's a scary thing to think about how much, if you reflect back on your life, how much ego has played and in ways been a barrier to your success of a healthy you, a healthy life, and healthy relationships, possibly, you know?
So I want you to really look at yourself and understand what your strengths and weaknesses are. Like, for example, when we're growing up, our parents think, oh, you should be a doctor or you should be an engineer. And if we're not good at that, like if you have you heard of that saying that if a fish were judged by the ability to climb a tree, it would fail?
Really?
Yeah. Imagine a fish being judged by the ability to climb a tree.
That's insane.
Right?
Yeah.
Because how would a fish climb a tree?
Mm-mm.
The same way, if we don't know what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are, and we're put in situations where we feel like failures.
Yeah.
If I'm not good at math, how am I going to become an engineer?
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So until we understand what our strengths are and what we should go towards and what our weaknesses are and what we shouldn't do and what, what won't be good for us, we will be constantly feeling like failures in our lives.
Yes.
So that was something I just wanted to add in really quickly. I know we're ready to go, but thank you for having me, and I'm really excited. Next week we're going to be talking about boundaries.
Yes.
So tune in.
Yes, thank you very much once again. And I hope you guys all benefited from listening to our podcast today. And we look forward to speaking with you all again next time. Stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.